Have you ever wondered about the places in the world you'll probably never get to see? Some of them are off limits for good reason, like being ruled by insane dictators who might detain you for simply wandering away from your tour group. Others are so remote that reaching them feels like swimming across an entire ocean. One island is so secluded that its native inhabitants may be one of the last uncontacted cultures on Earth. But fair warning, if you try to visit, you might not make it out alive. Before diving in, here's a disclaimer. The passport you hold can heavily influence how difficult it is to travel to certain places. For instance, people with Japanese or Singaporean passports often enjoy easier access to visas compared to others. U.S. passport holders, however, may face hurdles entering countries like North Korea, Iran, and Turkmenistan, sometimes even more so than travelers with Chinese or Russian passports. Some destinations require an official invitation, while others might be restricted by your own government. For example, due to the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, traveling from the US or Europe to Russia is nearly impossible. Flights have almost completely stopped, making it one of the harder places to visit. But believe it or not, there are places even tougher to get into than a country under global sanction. Let's explore Turkmenistan, where Big Brother is always watching. Welcome to Turkmenistan, the love child of Orwellian dystopia and desert monotony. Once part of the Soviet Union, this place didn't just miss the memo about the USSR collapsing, it set it on fire. Want to visit? First, you'll need a government-issued golden ticket, aka an official invitation. Even then, you'll be shadowed by state-approved guides who'll make sure your fun sticks strictly to the government script. Ashgabat, the capital, is a bizarre blend of Las Vegas glitz and totalitarian vibes. Think marble everything, golden statues, and a chilling emptiness that feels more ghost town than metropolis. Oh, and don't even think about wandering off on your own unless you enjoy the idea of diplomatic incidents. Bhutan. Happiness comes at a price. Bhutan is like that friend who's super chill, but doesn't let anyone crash at their place without a hefty cover charge. Dubbed the last Shangri-La, this Himalayan kingdom is stunning, and it knows it. Tourists must pre-book expensive government-approved packages, shell out a daily fee of around $200, and still hike their way through one of the world's most challenging terrains. Getting there is like playing a real-life game of Flight Simulator on nightmare mode. Only specially trained pilots are allowed to navigate the death-defying route to Paro Airport. And once you arrive, there's the infamous trek to the Tiger's Nest Monastery. It's gorgeous, sure, but it's also perched on a cliff that looks like it's auditioning for a disaster movie. Tristan da Cunha, no airport, no problem. Or maybe it is? Ever felt like dropping off the grid? Tristan da Cunha laughs in the face of your remote cabin fantasies. This speck in the South Atlantic is so isolated that it makes Gilligan's Island look like Times Square. There's no airport, no hotels, and only about 10 ships a year make the week-long trek from South Africa. Oh, and before you even pack your bags, you'll need approval from the island's council, a process slower than a dial-up connection. Once you get there, prepare for a crash course in survival basics. The island has no swimming beaches, no restaurants, and no Wi-Fi. Basically, it's a paradise if your idea of fun is pretending to be a 19th century castaway. Kiribati, paradise with an expiration date. Kiribati isn't just hard to get to, it's disappearing. Rising sea levels are slowly swallowing this Pacific island nation. So visiting is like ticking off a bucket list item before it literally sinks. With flights only available from Fiji, getting to Kiribati is expensive, time-consuming, and about as reliable as a weatherman's weekend forecast. But if you do make it, you'll find crystal clear waters, untouched beaches, and a culture deeply tied to the ocean. Just don't get too comfortable. Climate change is making sure that Kiribati's days are numbered. Easter Island, moai, and mayhem. Ah, Easter Island, home of the giant stone heads that have been staring into space for centuries. Located 2,200 miles off the coast of Chile, this Polynesian gem is the ultimate hard-to-get destination. With only 2 flights a week, good luck coordinating your visit. Even if you snag a seat, weather and passenger counts could easily cancel your plans. Once you're there, the island's isolation becomes crystal clear. You're at the mercy of the next flight out, which might not come for days. But hey, at least the moai are good company. They've been silently judging visitors for centuries. Machu Picchu, ancient ruins, modern headaches. Machu Picchu might be one of the 7 wonders of the world, but getting there feels more like a trial from Greek mythology. First, you'll need to secure one of the limited daily permits. Only 2,500 people are allowed to visit each day. Then there's the hike, 26 miles of rugged terrain on the Inca Trail. And let's not forget the altitude sickness that'll have you questioning your life choices at 8,000 feet above sea level. If hiking isn't your style, you can take the train. But that doesn't mean you're skipping the hassle. Tickets are expensive, and you still have to contend with crowds and strict regulations. All that for a chance to see ancient ruins shrouded in mist. Worth it? You decide. Bouvet Island, Antarctica's lonely outpost. Think Iceland's too mainstream? Then Bouvet Island is for you. This uninhabited slice of frozen hell in the South Atlantic is technically Norwegian territory, but good luck getting there. Surrounded by pack ice and whipped by sub-zero winds, Bouvet Island is a logistical nightmare. Permission from Norwegian authorities is mandatory, and the only practical way in is by helicopter drop onto a glacier. Sounds fun, right? For adventurers with a death wish, Bouvet offers nothing but ice, snow, and the satisfaction of knowing you visited a place fewer people have seen than the moon. Iran is a treasure trove of history and culture, but for U.S. citizens, it's basically off limits. Political tensions and strict visa policies mean most Americans won't get past the paperwork. If you do manage to score a visa, you'll need to join a government-approved tour group and stick to the itinerary like glue. It's a shame because Iran's ancient cities like Persepolis are nothing short of jaw-dropping. But unless you're willing to jump through a circus of hoops, this one might remain a pipe dream. North Korea, the ultimate hermit kingdom. North Korea's reputation precedes it, a place shrouded in secrecy, propaganda, and paranoia. Tourists can only visit as part of heavily controlled, government-approved tours. Venturing off on your own is not just frowned upon, it's illegal. Getting in requires navigating a bureaucratic labyrinth of visas and approvals, often only possible through Beijing. And even then, you're always one misstep away from diplomatic trouble. Fancy a trip to the DMZ? Better think twice. Would you dare to visit any of these spots? Drop a comment below and let us know which one piques your curiosity. And hey, share this article with your friends. Who knows, maybe you'll find your next travel buddy for that expedition to nowhere. Ready to plan the adventure of a lifetime? Subscribe to our newsletter for tips, tricks, and more tales of the world's most elusive destinations.